Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be doing my book haul for everything I bought in the month of October. I can't believe it's November already. Yes, I'm wearing makeup. I was doing a video for my TikTok on my Marilyn and me TikTok showing the Marilyn Rose Sheen or She Glam makeup, so that's why. So let's have a look at the books I got in October. Now there's quite a few because some of these are ones I bought for Mum to read while she's in hospital, and so now they've come to me. So the first book is Snowed In for Christmas by Sarah Morgan. This will be going on my next month's pile because we've got a lot of Christmas books to read. So a family gathering. This Christmas the Miller siblings have one goal: to avoid their family's well-meaning questions. Ross, Alice and Clemmy have secrets they don't intend to share, and they're relying on each other to deflect attention. An uninvited guest. Lucy Clark is facing a Christmas alone and the prospect of losing her job unless she can win a major piece of business from Ross Miller. She'll deliver her proposal to the family home in the Scottish Highlands and then leave. After all, she wouldn't want to intrude on the Millers' perfect family Christmas. A Christmas to remember. When Lucy appears on the Miller's snow-covered doorstep, she's mistaken for Ross's girlfriend, but by the time the confusion is cleared up, a storm is hit and Lucy is stuck. As everyone settles in for a snowed-in Christmas, tensions bubble to the surface, and suddenly Lucy finds herself facing a big family fallout with a family that isn't hers. How rude. You could at least be polite. Yes, the Sheen Glam lipstick goes everywhere, but it's such a pretty colour. I picked up Sense and Sensibility from the charity shop, mostly the charity shop ones, 25p. Obviously Jane Austen. With Mr. Dashwood's death, his wife and two daughters, Eleanor and Marianne, are left at the mercy of his son from an earlier marriage. Poorly provided for, the ladies accustom themselves for a life of genteel poverty. When Marianne meets the man of her dreams, everyone expects a marriage, especially her mother. After all, young Mr. Willoughby has the charm and connections of 10 romantic heroes and eyes but none for Marianne. Then unaccountably he rejects her with devastating effect. It falls to Eleanor, the sensible elder sister, to pick up the pieces while harbouring a secret longing of her own. In Sense and Sensibility, Jane Austen sets social snobbery against the passion of real love. Her warm portrait of the relationship between two very different sisters contrasts with her deliciously precise observation of the vanity, selfishness and snobbery of their society. So it's better than Persuasion. I did not really enjoy that. It's a nice book, but I just thought, oh, for God's sake, just get on with it. The Black Book by James Patterson. This is one of his 10 billion books. Being a cop runs in Billy Harney's family, the son of Chicago chief of detectives whose twin sister Patty also followed in their father's footsteps. Billy would give up everything for the job, including his life. After a brutal shooting, Billy is left for dead alongside his tempestuous former partner and an ambitious assistant district attorney. But somehow Billy survives and is charged with double murder. Oh, charming. Billy remembers nothing about the shooting. Retracing his steps to find proof of his innocence, he discovers the existence of a little black book that he suspects contains the truth that will either set him free or confirm his worst fears. So James Patterson writes about 3 billion books a year. Next year he's got one on Marilyn coming out. Surprise, surprise. Just him to jump on the bandwagon. Of course it's about her death and the Kennedys, so it's going to be a load of trash, but there you go. The Cornish Midwife by Jo Bartlett. See, my mum's had this. That's alright, because they all go back to the charity shop when I finish with them, unless there's something I want for the permanent collection. When midwife Ella Mechnick left the small Cornish town of Port Agnes, she never looked back, but when her seemingly perfect life falls apart, there's only one place she can heal, the place she once called home. Warmly welcomed back into the small seaside community, Ella loves her new job caring for mums and their precious babies, but being home also means facing Dan Ferguson, the first man to break her heart. Ella settles into her new old life. She can't stop memories of how she once loved Dan so completely, and maybe never stopped. It's a nice thin one, this one, if you're struggling with your Goodreads thing. Got quite a lot of Katie Ford coming up because there was loads of them in the charity shop and I picked them up for my mum. So the first one is Paradise Field. It's not as if Nell hasn't had enough on her plate already, organising a farmer's market in the picturesque Paradise Fields and keeping track of her unnervingly beautiful teenage daughter. Plus, sorting out a house full of animals are quite enough to keep her busy. The last thing she needs is another complication in her life, but when her old friend Sir Gerald dies and his son Pierce, accompanied by his glamorous American wife, take possession of the big house, it seems like preserving the fields is not on his list of priorities. Nell takes up arms, determined to fight for the meadow and the market she loves, but who can she trust? She's pretty sure her friends Sasha and Vivian are on her side, but her sensible boyfriend Simon, an estate agent, is less encouraging. And then there's Jake, the infuriating yet attractive stranger who kissed her under the mistletoe. Maybe she's been a celibate widow for too long. There we go. So, yes. The next Katie Ford, there's loads of them, sorry, is Practically Perfect. So Anna, a newly qualified interior designer, has risked everything on buying a tiny but adorable cottage so she can renovate it, sell it on and prove to her family that she can earn a living. Outside, the chocolate pot cottage is perfect, but inside is chaos. With a ladder for a staircase, no downstairs flooring and candles the only form of lighting. Anna's soon wondering if she's bitten off more than she can chew. Her neighbour Chloe comes to the rescue, providing tea, wine, sympathy and a recently rescued greyhound, Caroline. But just as Anna's starting to believe she's found the perfect idyll, a good-looking yet impossible Rob Hunter arrives on the scene, putting up more obstacles than the Grand National. Can Anna get over all of life's obstacles? My words aren't working tonight. They're not wording. My words aren't working. They're not wording. So there's that one, as you can tell. I've got to find somewhere to put these. Next we've got A Vintage Wedding. Again, Katie Ford. In a small Cotswold country town, Beth, Lindy and Rachel are looking for new beginnings. So they set up in business organising stylish and perfectly affordable weddings, vintage weddings. Soon they're busy arranging other people's big days. What none of them know is that their own romance is waiting just around the corner. Ah. Next one is this one, Highland Fling. When virtual assistant Jelly Porter's boyfriend accuses her of being impulsive, soft-hearted and unbusinesslike, dashing off to Scotland to sort out a failing mill for one of her clients may not be the best way of proving him wrong, and promising to help run a mobile burger bar before she's even found her feet doesn't help matters. When she finds herself determined to save the mill, whatever her client's wishes, it seems that Henry's accusations may have contained more than a grain of truth. So when Jenny's awkward encounters with the abrasive but disconcertingly attractive Ross Grant develop into something more complicated, just as Henry arrives in Scotland to reclaim her, she's not property, she's not lost. It's time for Jenny to make some decisions. Should she do the sensible thing and follow Henry back to London? Or is her Highland adventure more than just a fling? Reclaim her, she's not lost property. That annoys the hell out of me. A Rose Petal Summer, yes, more Katie Ford. I'm going to be very annoyed with her by the end of reading all these. They won't be all read at the same time. You know, like one after the other. She'd recognised him the moment he'd entered the room, but he didn't appear to remember her. Of course, it'd been nearly pitch dark when they'd met, and so long ago. He laughed, and Caro's heart gave a lurch. He was the one who got away. The young man with whom Caro had spent one magical evening in Greece, whom she'd never forgotten. Now, years later, they've met once more in a beautiful house in Scotland. Soon, Caro is falling in love for him all over again. But will this be the summer he falls in love with her? Love, second chances, wedding preparations and the promise of happy endings lie at the heart of Katie Ford's new novel. That one sounds all right. I've got Marion Keyes, The Woman Who Stole My Life. Now, I have read this before, read it ages ago, but I really wanted to read it again. And I'm trying to collect a few Marion Keyes. One day, sitting in traffic, married Dublin mum Stella Sweeney attempts a good deed, collides with a Range Rover and meets a handsome man who wants her telephone number. She thinks he's arrogant and dismisses the encounter. But in this meeting is born the seed of something which takes Stella thousands of miles from her own life, turning an ordinary woman into a superstar and, along the way, wrenching her whole family apart. Was meeting Mr. Range Rover destiny or karma? Should she be grateful or hopping mad? And can she grab the chance at real, honest-to-goodness happiness now it seems within her reach? I can't remember, but she probably does. All these books seem to have happy endings. We've got Jenny Colgan, Rules. Things are changing at the little school by the sea. For the first time, the girls caught sight of the turreted castle-like building that would be home for the next 9 months, the 4 towers of the main houses nestled in the hills, with the cliffs behind leading down to the still turquoise sea. Maggie loves teaching English at beautiful Downey House, but she's less keen on planning her wedding to the dependable Stan. Instead, she's working on ignoring her crush on David MacDonald, who teaches English at the local boys' school. Just as Simone and Fliss have become friends, Zelda arrives to upset everything. Zelda is loudly, glamorously American, and she's full of ways to improve life at boarding school. Soon, quiet, mousy Simone is undergoing a makeover, and Fliss is about to jeopardise everything to impress a boy. In a new year, at a new school, the girls of Downey House will be breaking all the rules, and not all of them will escape unscathed. So, modern take on the boarding school stories. Nice. Lisa Jewell, The Girls. Now, this was also called The Girls from something else as well, so it's got two names. I think it's probably The Girls something in America. Because it took me a while to figure it out, but it's the same book. You live on a communal garden square where your children run free. You've known your neighbours for years and you trust them implicitly. You think your children are safe. But are they really? Midsummer night and a girl is found unconscious in a dark corner of the garden. What happened to her and who was responsible? You know I love Lisa Jewell. She's one of my favourites. Next, we've got Carol Matthews. The Difference a Day Makes. Like Carol Matthews as well. William and Amy love their busy city life, but when Will collapses on his way into work, he decides enough is enough and moves his family to the countryside. 3 months later, Amy is living in Helmshill Grange, a sullen monstrosity of a house deep in the Yorkshire moors. Within days, Will has traded in the Audi for a Land Rover and brought home chickens, goats, a sheep, a serial killer cat and a mad dog. But when tragedy strikes, Amy finds herself living a dream that isn't hers. I could at least have moved to the coast. That's my dream. I'm just joking, don't worry. Mark Billingham, The Last Dance. He's a detective, a dancer, and he has no respect for authority. And he's the best hope Blackpool has for keeping criminals off the streets. Meet Detective Declan Miller. A double murder in a seaside hotel sees a grieving Miller return to work to solve what appears to be a case of mistaken identity. Just why were two completely unconnected men taken out? Despite a somewhat dubious relationship with both reality and his new partner, can the eccentric offbeat Miller find answers where his colleagues have found only an impossible puzzle? There we go. Still going. Like I said, most of these were bought for Mum to read in hospital, and I can't send them back until I've at least given them a go. Next we have Danielle Steele, Family Ties. I don't mind a bit of Danielle Steele. Annie Ferguson is a bright, talented young Manhattan architect. She had the world in the palm of her hand until a single phone call altered the course of her life forever. Overnight, she became the mother to her sister's 3 orphan children. Suddenly, her own life seemed on hold indefinitely. Years later, she is independent as ever with a satisfying career and a family that means everything to her. Annie is comfortable being single and staying that way, but with her nephew and nieces now young adults, with careers as diverse as fashion editor, law student and rebellious artist, she's faced the empty nest with some trepidation. Yeah. This is Millie's Fling. It's got a little dog with sunglasses. How cute. When Millie Brady saves all her heart's life, she doesn't realise how drastically it will change her own, not least because the boyfriend who's asking her to move in with him at the time promptly storms off in a huff. Actually, Millie is relieved. She's quite happy to enjoy a restful, man-free summer in Cornwall. But best-selling novelist Orla has other ideas. She's determined for her own reasons that Millie should meet the man of her dreams. My words aren't wording again. Dropped wallets, roller skating gorillograms, and the world's most flirtatious boss and a helicopter in the back of the garden all conspire to produce summer neither Millie or Orla will ever forget. So, right. The Rosie Project. Paul had this and read it at one point, and I thought it was his sort of thing. Love isn't an exact science, but no one told Don Tillman, a handsome 39-year-old geneticist. Don's never had a second date, so he devises the Wife Project. A scientific test to find the perfect partner. Enter Rosie, the world's most incompatible woman, throwing Dan's safe, ordered life into chaos. Just what is this unsettling alien emotion he's feeling? I think it might be love. I got Will Grayson by John Green and David Levithan. Now, I am looking forward to this one because I see it all the time, everywhere. Will Grayson, meet Will Grayson. One cold night in a most unlikely corner of Chicago, two strangers cross paths. Two teens with the same name, running in two very different circles, suddenly find their lives going in new and unexpected directions, culminating in heroic turns of heart and the most epic musical ever to grace the high school stage. I love the sound of that. That just sounds so me. So much fun. Then we've got Karen Slaughter, Fractured. Again, I love anything by Karen Slaughter. Completely different from the last few. When Atlanta housewife Abigail Campano comes home unexpectedly one afternoon, she walks into a nightmare. A broken window, a bloody footprint on the stairs, and most devastating of all, the horrifying sight of her teenage daughter lying dead on the landing, a man standing over her with a bloody knife. The struggle which follows changes Abigail's life forever. When the local police make a misjudgment which not only threatens the investigation but places a young girl's life in danger, the case is handed over to Special Agent Will Trent of the Criminal Apprehension Team, paired with Detective Faith Mitchell, a woman who resents him from their first meeting. But in the relentless heart of Georgia's summer, Will and Faith realise they must work together to find the brutal killer who has targeted one of Atlanta's wealthiest, most privileged communities before it's too late. How can you not like Will Trent? He's just lovely. Finally, for the fiction, Penny Vincenzi, Another Woman. Always another woman, isn't there? A dream wedding becomes a nightmare as the bride disappears. The night before her lavish wedding to Oliver Bergen, Cressida Forrest went to bed serene and happy. By morning she'd vanished without apparent cause and without trace. Shocked, anxious and uncomprehending, the two families face a long and painful day of revelations as a complex, fragile web of sexual, marital and financial secrets is ripped apart by Cressida's disappearance. And the questions they are all forced to ask is, who really was the woman they thought they knew? Perfect daughter, sister, lover and wife never to be? No idea, but why not? Sounds good to me. And the last book I got was another new Marilyn book. This is called Marilyn Style by Terry Newman, and it says on the back, Marilyn Monroe's world was the stuff of fairy tales. The girl who conquered Hollywood and was hailed as the most beautiful woman in the world before her untimely death in 1962. Marilyn Monroe Style celebrates Marilyn's impact on fashion by revealing the influence of her many iconic looks. Her wardrobe is encompassed sensual femininity as well as low-key minimalism. Outfits span from shimmering showpieces such as the Jean-Louis gown worn to serenade Jack Kennedy on his birthday to Pucci slacks and cat's eye spectacles born Norma Jean Mortensen. Whenever she became Marilyn, she mesmerised onlookers with show-stopping outfits that helped make her a legend. Yet through her life, the clothes she wore represented many ways of being a woman. Yeah. So, yeah. Very beautiful, beautiful book. So, very nice. So I thought I'd add that to the collection because, you know, you can never have enough Marilyn Monroe books in my opinion. So those are all the books that I obtained because I'm not sure where some of them came from. In the month of October, there probably will be a haul in November and December. It really depends. I might just do one in December, a big one. I have got a few books but not too. I'm trying to cut down now. My New Year's resolution is for the new year is to try and only buy one book for every 5 I read. I'm not promising myself because the TBR is out of control and ever growing. But that's it. So I'm looking forward to all these books. I know I every month I do a big haul and you probably think, does she ever read them? I do, and you'll see some in my wrap-up video that I've read. See you later.